All right, so let me repeat again because I was not recording. So hello stream people. We will have a review session next week when we so next week you will have all the essays reviewed, and we will spend a session discussing the second round of essays. For those of you who haven't submitted the essays yet, there is a subfolder in the class event which allows you to organize, which allows us to organize it a little bit better. And then for the third round, make sure you submit your essays through the event 3, so the essay submission round 3. This will kind of organize things a little bit better, because otherwise we have this big flat structure and then we have to find the second entry for every student to know which essay is which. This way will be easier. There was a comment about anonymous submissions. So the system is a little bit awkward in a sense that if you log in with anonymous user, you cannot really easily get out of it. We had that situation with PMS before, and you basically have to go and clear your cookies for the ixc.no site to get rid of your anonymous login, and then you can log in with your either email login or with your Google account as usual. Those of you who clicked unintentionally the anonymous login, currently there is no other way around it. The rationale for that is that the anonymous login is to prevent people quickly logging in anonymously, doing something and logging out and logging in again as a new anonymous user and doing something else. So for example, upvoting questions or upvoting things in the events. You can of course still do that by clearing up the cookies, so the anonymity is not perfect, but clearing up cookies for most normal users is a little bit of a challenge. So it is sort of like a slowing down the abuse, potential abuse of the system. But if someone who already has an account unintentionally clicks anonymous login and then tries the Google login, it will not work, because the way it works is you have the anonymous account and then you can upgrade it to the either email account or Gmail account. But if the Gmail account already exists, then the anonymous account cannot be upgraded to that new account, right? So that's why a Google login will not work from anonymous login. You have to clear the anonymous login first, and then the Google login will work. That's the way Firebase is structured. So it is kind of a restriction on Firebase of how it does user management, right? So there is kind of a path where people log in using Gmail, for example, and then have an account. If they have an account, they use that Gmail account. If they don't want to create the Gmail account with the system, they can try the system before upgrading to Gmail account using the anonymous login. But you cannot go from Gmail to anonymous, and you cannot go from anonymous to an existing Gmail. You can only go to the new Gmail, right? So it's like the workflow kind of makes sense technically, but it's super confusing for like user, from user interaction design perspective. Like, oh my God, like how can you explain it to my mom, right? So like as a workflow, it kind of makes sense, and I see why they've done it this way. But really, like to explain it to someone kind of like a normal person, it's super complicated. So you have the ability to be anonymous, and you have the ability to have an account, let's say with Gmail or with Facebook or kind of with email, right? If you went straight here, then you never really use the anonymous feature. If you went first here, then you can upgrade to one of those. But if you already have one of those, and then you suddenly clicked on anonymous, then you can't really kind of go back to the one which is over there. I think it somehow should work either way, right? It should be able for your normal account to also have associated anonymous account, and then you can go back and forth. But as it is now currently with Firebase, the flow is only one way. So if you already have that, you cannot have associated anonymous account, right, with it. And then therefore, if you have this account and you clicked here, you cannot go from here to there. You have to clear this, you have to clear the cookies, be non-logged in anonymously, and then the Google login will work. So that's one sort of a flaw that we have. PMS also suggested that we should have a reset your password. He forgot his password and there is no reset your password option. There is in Firebase, but we just don't have a button anywhere in the UI. So it's on the to-do list to have a button just so you get an email to reset your credential passwords. If you're using the email thing, if you're using Gmail, of course, you have to do it through Google. So if you forgot your Gmail password, you do it separately. We don't know, like Firebase doesn't know your password. It just do oath token authentication, right? So that's that part. There was one more thing about the system. Oh yeah, so I've noticed that I tried, for example, to modify this event to have sub-events. And when I was trying to do that, I got an error message saying the payload is too big, which is a bit weird. So I'm not sure if you've experienced that, or any of you who were submitting the essays, that the payload which you're submitting is too big. If you did, please email me or please let me know. That was the first time I've seen this type of error, and I will investigate and check why we had this. But I had to, like, to add the sub-events, I had to go through the database directly. I couldn't do it through the normal Nginx submission. So
just sort of like one note, it would be cool to get a bit more feedback from the site. For instance, when I tried logging in with my own user after having clicked anonymous, and also before that, like when I used the wrong password, I didn't actually get any message of using the wrong password. It was just sort of brought back into the website, not logged in. And when they were anonymous, that's a...
And you didn't have the pop-up here?
No, nothing. I was just, I was like, okay, did I succeed?
Yeah, so for some error messages, we get the pop-up here, which is good. For some error messages, they are sort of silent, and you have to open the Java console to see that, right? So obviously, from user perspective, the system is not really finished yet. It's kind of in alpha stage, say. So really, to see error messages, you have to go to the Java console. And then you have a really verbose error messages there. They are not really communicated to the user properly here yet. Some are not yet. We are working on the system, so we are planning to open source it and have other students working on it. And it will be probably used for the communication in the AI course next semester as well, as a way of remote students talking to the TAs from Trondheim. So there will be some improvements kind of happening in the system this and next semester. But all those things are very valuable. So I kind of take notes and I put issues into the issue tracker. So if you have any comments or suggestions, yeah, please do them. Other than that, I think the system kind of works relatively well. I've seen from the first round, the comments are kind of good. So from your first round experience, were the comments good enough for you to improve? Or what would you think you can say about the comments to make the comments better for yourself? So from your own experience, from the comments you got after the first round, was it enough for you to know what you can do better? Or do you think you can suggest other ways of commenting that will help you more? So what is your opinion? Yes?
I'm not sure if that sort of suggested framework that we got, I'm not sure if that's necessarily applicable.
The template, case. You mean?
Yeah. So, but that's the only thing I sort of...
Yep. So I agree with that. So those, I've seen some reviews who really cling to the template. And yeah, so my comment is you don't have to. And more often than not, it doesn't actually make sense in the context of the particular essays that we're making, right? So if those of you who use the template exclusively and very kind of to the letter of the template, you can come with your own way of commenting on a particular essay, right? So if the essay fits well into the template, that's great, but some of your essays don't really fit into the template, so the reviewers don't have to follow it. So that's my own observation as well. But what else? Like from the way people are commenting, what suggestions do you have? Or from the way you've commented, what do you think you could have done differently reading other people's commenting? Is it a good balance between, you know, the technical aspects of the essay and the semantic aspects and kind of argumentation aspects, or do you feel some parts should be more pronounced? You should get more feedback about, some structural comments are kind of easy, like you may, don't need it as much, or maybe you need it more because you don't see it. I don't know. Like, what do you feel? What was your perception after the first round? So we can improve the second round commenting, what I'm saying, right? So you get more benefit from the comments. Too short, not detailed enough, too long, too personal, not personal enough.
I thought it seemed okay.
Yeah. I think it's kind of good because you have to do the review yourself also, and you are expecting review for your own essay. You're kind of wearing two hats, right? And that puts you kind of, if you were only reviewing, then you might do it slightly differently than if you have two hats, right? But I don't know. From what I've read, I feel it's okay. I feel it's reasonably sized. They are not too sketchy. In the previous years, sometimes you had a little bit more personal comments, but then I kind of emphasized not to be personal, early. So we kind of don't have that much this year of that, which is good. I think they are quite insightful sometimes. So yeah, if you have any kind of general suggestions for people commenting, then put them in the beginning, like put them here, right, in the main top level. So then people will, or you can put them on the wiki as well. Okay, so the first round we will discuss it more next week after the reviews are in. So what should we do this week? So I have a short video about doing a literature review. So I will post the video link onto the wiki. So I will not record it onto the stream for the copyright violations and things like that. So I will post the stream now, and those people who are watching the stream, you can watch the video. Yeah, so I will do it now. So the URL is in the class. Right, let's see if it worked. Yep. Save it. So what we will do is we will watch the video and then we will discuss about doing literature reviews. Okay. So